Next question. What are the greatest challenges facing public safety in Somerset County, and how would the state attorney address these challenges?
Well, 2 minutes really isn't a lot of time to talk about that, but probably the three biggest challenges right now facing the public safety in Somerset County are drugs, gangs, and the sex offenders. And I've already begun to address all three of those things and been successful in doing that. As I said, with the sex offender program, I've gone out into the community, I've gone into community organizations, I've gone into the schools, we've been at lots of the community fairs, making sure that all of the parents know how to use the child sex offender registry and know what sex offenders are living in their community so that we can protect our kids from these sex offenders. I've also been very active over the last 2 years in Annapolis, testifying in behalf of legislation to increase the penalties for child sex offenders and to keep them in jail longer, and also to make the child registry requirements much more stringent. And we were very successful in getting those registry requirements passed, and we're still fighting to get more time for the sex offenders, and I will continue to do that. With regards to the gangs, a couple of years ago, as soon as we heard that gangs were starting in our surrounding communities, in our surrounding counties, we appointed one of the prosecutors in our office to be a gang prosecutor, and that prosecutor works closely with all the law enforcement agencies and their intelligence units regarding gangs, and with the Eastern Correctional Institution and the Somerset County Detention Center. So we know when any gang member is released into our community, we know where they go, and we keep close tabs on them to ensure that they're not starting more gang activity and recruiting new members. We also go out into the schools and the community to educate, to watch for what's going on, to ensure and the types of things to watch for when gangs are starting to form so that we can keep the gangs out of our community. And I'm proud to say that we have done a very good job of doing that, and we will continue to do that. And with drugs, I've always taken a tough stance against drugs. I always make sure that the enhanced penalties are sought, that the subsequent offender penalties are sought.
Thank you. The question is the same. What are the greatest challenges facing public safety in Somerset County, and how would the state attorney address these challenges?
I agree that every one of those things are problems. It's how do you approach those problems. The drug problem, we work very hard at suppression. Our task force works diligently. Our officers are working very hard in our community to keep drugs out of our community. The problem is drugs are the law of supply and demand. Anyone who knows economics, that's the case. What we don't do well is every county that surrounds us has an adult drug court program. As I told you earlier this afternoon, I participated in it. I feel very strongly that if we work with the District Court of Maryland instituted an adult drug court program, that we concentrate our efforts on keeping people from recidivism, that we keep them from relapsing. If there is not the person who needs drugs, that will cut down greatly on the person supplying drugs. And that targeting efforts by the task force combined together, that is how we win the war on drugs. Some of the things that we had in the past that we don't have anymore was the RSAT program in Wycomico County. They were a great neighbor to us in allowing rehabilitation and substance abuse treatment, that someone who committed a crime didn't just go out here and was on probation. They were in jail for 18 months, but during that time they were getting intensive drug treatment program. I would like to work with the county commissioners, as I have done before, and also with Tri-County Council and other neighboring states' attorneys to make sure that that program is reinstituted, because it is vital to our community. No one has a crystal ball. I wish I did. If I had a crystal ball, you wouldn't have crime in Somerset County. Ms. Hickman doesn't have a crystal ball. The point I'm trying to make is that no crime is too small. I practice in the district court, I practice in juvenile court, and I practice in the circuit court.
Thank you very much. You have 2 minutes to continue.
Well, just continuing on with that, I prosecuted probably one of the first gang-related crimes that happened in this county. The assault on Aubrey Fletcher at ECI was one of the first gang-related crimes in this county. And each one of the perpetrators of that crime was taken to task and I took them to the maximum penalty they could get. That's how you stop gang crime in this county. Make no mistake about it. As Mr. Mueller said earlier this evening, ECI has been a benefit to our community in that it has given many people jobs, has allowed many people to retire and continue to serve their community as Mr. Simpkins has done. But with that also comes the bad. You have gangs, make no mistake about it, in ECI, Black Guerrilla Family, Bloods, Crips. They target not only police or correctional officers in the institution, but when they get out, they continue on because they have learned criminal enterprise in that institution and homestead in our community. And I will be proactive, as I have been before, in targeting the gang members in ECI and eradicating the gang problem in ECI. I've worked with Bill Justice before. He is one of the intelligence and investigators in ECI. A lot of people here in Crisfield know him. He's a native of Crisfield, and I will work very closely with him because if we stop it there, we will stop the gang problem from flowing over into our neighborhoods where you live, where I live. My home is here, my family is here, my heart is here, and I am here to protect this county. Thank you.
Well, a lot of the theme this election year seems to be about change. Let's take out the incumbents. But in a job like state's attorney, what's very important is experience and commitment. And I have that experience, and I have definitely shown that commitment to Somerset County. I've had one main career goal since I graduated from law school, and that one goal has been to prosecute crime to keep Somerset County safe. And for the past 15 years, I have stayed focused on that goal. And I have tried cases day in and day out. And I have won convictions day in and day out. And I will continue to do so. So if you want a strong advocate for victims and victims' rights, I'm asking you to vote for me. And if you want a prosecutor who has and will continue to take a tough stand against drug dealers, gangs, and sex offenders, I'm asking you to vote for me. And if you want an experienced prosecutor who has tried successfully thousands of cases, and it was shown that a commitment and an ability to continue to do that, I'm asking you to vote for me. Somerset County is a great place to live. Not only have I dedicated my legal career here, but my husband John and I have chosen to raise our family here. My kids go to school here, and they play their sports here, their friends are here, and I belong to and I actively participate in many civic and charitable organizations in this county, and I volunteer at my children's school, and I'm active in my church. So I have a vested interest in keeping Somerset County a safe place for your family and my family, and I vow to continue to do that, and I'm asking for your vote on November 2nd.
Thank you very much.